안녕하세요. 전욱휴프로입니다. 전욱휴의 월드그레이트티쳐스 시즌 3탄을 위해서 저는 올랜도 애니카 소랜스탐 아카데미에 와 있습니다. 자, 대한민국 골퍼들이 가장 만나고 싶어하는 프로페셔널 골프 중에 1위를 차지하는 것이 바로 애니카 소랜스탐 아닌가 보는데요. 자, 애니카 소랜스탐을 간략하게 소개를 해드리면 1970년에 태어났습니다. 12살에 조금 늦은 나이에 골프를 시작했습니다. 하지만 대기만성을 이루게 되는데요. 22살 때 LPGA에 입성을 합니다. 그리고 95년도에 US 오픈을 시작으로 하면서 은퇴 전까지 72승을 LPGA에 거두게 되는데요. 가장 인상적인 것은 2001년도에 59타 59을 기록하게 되죠. 자, 현재 이곳에서 애니카 소랜스탐은 다양한 활동을 하고 있습니다. 물론 뭐 코스 공략, 코스 설계도 하고 있는 것뿐만 아니라 다양한 비즈니스를 하고 있는데, 오늘 이 시간에는요, 우리 시청자 여러분들을 위해서 애니카 소랜스탐의 아이언, 애니카 소랜스탐 아이언은 너무너무 정확합니다. 그린 인 레귤레이션, 그린 적중률이 2001년도, 2002년도에는 거의 80%를 육박하면서 아직도 그 기록을 누가 깨지 못하고 있는데요. 오늘 애니카와 함께 시작해 보도록 하겠습니다. Good morning. Hi, Anika.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I introduced you about your iron accuracy. 2001, 2002. Green regulation was almost 80%.
Yes,
Would
it
you
was.
explain to the time?
Yes, I mean it was my best year when hitting irons. But my goal was always to hit every fairway and then every green, because I figured that gives me the most opportunities for birdies and less opportunities for bogeys. So I spent a lot of times with my irons, and I love practicing irons. And for me to get, hit as many greens as possible will put the pressure off my short game. Because if you start missing a lot of greens, you have to work a lot on your chipping and your bunker, and the chances that you're going to make up and down are, gets always tougher the more you do it. So for me, it was always focusing around the greens. It was not always where the flag was. I would just make sure that I hit the big areas of the green. The longer the club I had, the wider the area, and the shorter club I had, I can be a little bit more precise.
Yes.
So, but the iron play was certainly something I loved. I hit a lot of balls on the range. Tempo was very important. So I would say that was one of my strengths.
Did you practice a lot on your iron?
I practiced a lot with my irons. I mean, to me, it was, I have one swing.
Yes.
It's the same for a wedge, it's the same for a 7-iron, it's the same for a 5-iron, it's the same for the driver. But I do make adjustments, a little wider stance, hands a little bit more forward, ball position, forward or back, the length of the backswing, but it's one swing.
Would you explain to my Korean fan about one swing with fundamental thing?
Yes.
With iron, right?
Yes. Well, first of all, with the irons, I always say that the ball position with the wedge would be in the middle, and the longer club I use, the more forward to my left foot I would move the ball position. So what that means, if I have a wedge, it's in the center, and if I have a 5-iron, the ball position goes a little bit more forward. And why I would do that is because when you come down to the ball, you obviously have loft on the club, but when you have a 5-iron, it's a left loft, so you want to sweep the ball more off the ground, but when you have a wedge, you hit down on it and the ball pops up. So that little adjustment is what I did with the irons. Again, the grip is the same as I do with the woods. The setup is very similar. You want to make sure you have a very athletic setup. You know what I mean by that? You want to flex your knees a little bit. You want to have a solid foundation. You want to make sure that your arms are hanging loose from your shoulders. And again, you want to make sure you grip the club hard, but not too hard, because you don't want to have tension in your wrists and in your forearms and your shoulders, because if you have a lot of tension, it's very hard to turn your shoulders and making a good backswing. So let me show you here. This is a 9-iron I have the ball position a little bit more in the center. I'll take it back, and tempo is all I care about. I'm going to make sure I make a good solid turn and then swing through.
Good shot.
Thank you. And as you can see, it's very important to shift the weight from the right side over to the left side, and you want to finish in a straight position. I'm going to try that again. Make sure you take a complete backswing with your shoulders. Accelerate through. And hold your finish.
Yeah, that means to cover first the low iron play down makes up. Explain about that.
Yeah, down makes up. What I'm trying to explain is that you want to make sure that you hit down on the ball and then the ball goes up. I see so many people, they try to scoop the ball up instead of letting the club go down and then it goes up. And therefore, when you hit down on the ball, you want to hit the ball first and then afterwards you hit a little divot. So let me show you what I mean. It's all taking care of itself. Back, hit down, and the ball goes up.
Divot in front of the ball, right?
Yes, absolutely. You want to make sure that the divot comes slightly after the ball because you want to make sure you hit the ball first. Because if you hit the ground first, you're going to have a tendency to hit the ball a little thin. So I'm driving it down, divot coming through.
Nice. How about ball and your body distance? Is the same with keeper iron or driver?
Well, it varies. It depends on how long the club is, but you really want to make sure that your arms are hanging relaxed. Let me show you. The clubs, you set the club next to the ball. You want to make sure your hands are just hanging directly from the shoulders. If you feel like you're reaching too much, you're most likely too far away. When you're too far away, you're going to come in and have a really flat swing. If you're standing too close, you're going to feel like your arms are bending up and your elbows are too close to your body. It's going to be a tendency just to lift the club up. So you really want to make sure that wherever the arms are hanging, that's where you will grip the club. So I'm getting my athletic stance, putting down the club by the ball, letting my arms hang, and right there is where I will grip the club. And when I do that way, it's easy for me to rotate back and swing through.
Great. Anika, would you check fundamental of thing of iron with Youngin? Youngin, come over here.
Yeah.
이렇게. Youngin, yes. 어드레스 자세를 한번 취해 주시고요. 자, 7 아이언. 네, 7번
Okay.
7 아이언.
7 iron, perfect.
다시 한번. 네.
It's okay.
편하게. 예.
Make sure when you set up that your weight is in the center of the feet. It looks like they were too far back on the heels. When you're too far back on the heels, you come back this way and then you throw the club. So make sure that the weight is on the center. You can get a little closer.
자.
Okay, let me see. How is the weight? And now it looks like you go a little further back from the ball and you can more lean forward to have the weight more on your center. There you go. And get your hands up again. There. Okay, try one more.
예. 하나 더. 네.
But the balance is very important when you hit the iron shots because if you have a good setup and good balance, it's easier to take the club back on the path and get it to the top. If you start too far away or too close, it's very hard to start on the right track.
볼과 몸의 간격을 한번 맞춰 보시고 몸의 체중을 중심보다 앞에 놓으시고 손 올리시고. 예.
Okay?
예.
And then again, don't be afraid to hit down on the ball. You know, right now you're hitting more just the ball and nothing else. Remember, it's hit down, mix up.
예. 편하게. 예. 화이팅. 예.
Right now, you're standing way back on your heels again.
예, 몸의 체중이 계속 뒤꿈치에 있어가지고 예, 샷이 안 되니까 예, 잔디를 판다는 연습 스윙 한번 해보세요. 네.
Let me show you a good drill that you can do. If you put,
선생님 따라하세요.
grip the club here, straight arms, and you bend your knees a little bit, or you feel like in the center, and then all you do is bend from your hips. There you go.
Much better.
Okay.
예.
Yes.
Okay, that's enough. 예. 됐어. Okay, 들어가세요.
Okay.
예. 그러니까 윤진, come here. 예.
Want to try one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Make sure you go a little more left here because it's so
예,
close
약간
to the
왼쪽으로
cars.
보세요. 네.
Okay. And you have 7 iron too? Okay. Yes. A practice swing is very good because it gets to feel for the shot and finding the tempo. So that's good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Anika. Just okay. One more time. So, would you hit 2 more balls? Then we're gonna finish up on this section.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. Okay. Little explanation also, right? Yes.
Yes. Again, the irons was really, I would say, my strength in my game. I practiced a lot of irons. And I practiced everything from the pitching wedge up to the 6-iron, but the tempo was really important for me. And that's something you're going to see when I swing. Doesn't matter what club it is, the tempo is so important. And what that does, obviously it's easy for me to come into the ball consistently, but also help me with my accuracy on the distance. You know, one thing is to hit the ball straight, but do you know exactly how far you hit it? Do you know that you hit your 9-iron 130 yards? Do you know that you hit your 6-iron 160? And the thing is, if you swing consistently, that's going to help you with your distance control. And when you're playing on a, you know, in a course where there's maybe a bunker in front of the green, or if there's a lake in front, you really need to trust your distance. You really need to trust, you know, the accuracy of your irons and not stand over the ball and feel like you have to push a little extra or swing a little softer because you don't know exactly how far you hit it. So let me just show you that this is a tempo that I would swing with most of my club. And some people will say, oh, it looks like you're only swinging 80%. Well, it is probably only 80, but I can do the 80 all the time in the same way.
Nice shot.
Thank you.
So you do all the time 80% of your power?
80% of my power. I mean, it makes, first of all, when I do the same, I have a feeling how far I will hit it.
To get more accuracy?
More accuracy, and then the distance control. If I want a little more, I can swing a little faster, but when you swing a little faster, it's easy that one thing would move a little faster or the hands will come. So I try to just stick to one swing tempo.
Thank you, Anika. 자, 시청자 여러분 어떠셨습니까? 아이언의 가장 기본이 되는 이러한 자세인데요. 마지막 결론은 애니카는 자신의 힘의 80%를 쏟으면서 경기를 한다고 합니다. 그만큼 욕심 없이 방향과 거리를 지킬 수 있다는 건데요. 하지만 80%의 스윙을 지금 보고 계시지만은 굉장히 파워풀합니다. 거리 면에서도 세계 랭킹 평균 드라이버가 1위였으니까는요. 이 점 참조해서 우리 아마추어 골퍼 여러분들 또는 프로 골퍼 여러분들도 자신의 볼의 컨트롤을 한번 만들어 나가길 바랍니다. 그럼 다음 시간에는 애니카 소랜스탐과 함께 조금 더 깊이 있는 백스윙에 관해서 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 대단히 고맙습니다. Thank you.
Thank you.